Here we go.
Okay. So we'll just give everybody a few minutes to log in here before we go on ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon, I guess now it's 12.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, I think we can go on ahead and get started. So thank you for joining our Mulberry Talent Partners Job Search Workshop. Today we are joined by Kristen McConnell from Northwest Staffing Resources, Scott Thompson from Lexicon Solutions, and our very own Lauren Francis, who's the founder and president here at Mulberry Talent Partners. We are a recruiting, temporary staffing, and executive search firm headquartered here in Portland, Oregon. We specialize in HR, professional office, admin, financial office, payroll, and operations positions. So without further ado, we're going to go on ahead and have Lauren jump into an intro to staffing and recruitment agencies.
Yes, and I just first wanted to welcome everyone and also to say that the inspiration for our 30-minute webinars actually came from our passion to support job seekers at every stage of their career. And truthfully, your success fuels us, and we are honored to participate in your journey. I think that one of the silver linings of this COVID situation that we're all in is that the webinar was really came about from this, because we're all quarantined at the moment. And what we found is we're able to reach a larger audience, and we're grateful for that. We're grateful that we can reach more people with these webinars, and we are very happy to have you join us today. In terms of, this was really, the inspiration for this particular webinar came from just knowing how helpful agencies can be for job seekers. And so sometimes I see candidates register with maybe 1 or 2 agencies, and I think it's really helpful I think it's very helpful to register with 3 to 5 agencies and to identify a recruiter or recruiters within that organization that you click with, that they understand your background and they are better equipped to present you to positions that could be of interest to you. And agencies have unparalleled access to roles. So companies tend to reach out to agencies because for many reasons, but one of the reasons is that pre-screen candidates that are available quickly for positions that they need to fill quickly. And so, and the other thing too about agencies is when agencies are presenting candidates in our pool to a position, there aren't as many candidates. So we often will present maybe 3 to 5 candidates for a particular role, as opposed to an open requisition that could have, tens of, 100, more than just a few. So just wanting to make that point. The other, trusted advisor and advocate. We are trusted advisors and advocates for you, and you can come to us for all kinds of questions. And as it relates to your search, it may be a situation where you're looking at 2 different offers and you need help sort of navigating what those pieces are. It may be that you need help with your resume. It may be that you're struggling with your interviews, and particularly online interviews now, which is a whole different ballgame. So we want to be there for you to support you in your journey. Interview preparation is critically important. Just to be able to read through the job description and prepare for that interview and work with a colleague or a friend to help with that, with the interview piece. We also have many resources. Mulberry has many resources, and I know Northwest Staffing and Lexicon do for their candidates, and of course other agencies as well, boutique agencies, national agencies, and so on. It's a lot of material to help with interview preparation, coaches, that sort of thing. We also offer ongoing career support. So wherever you are at your stage in your career, we want to be able to add, to guide you and support you there. Also through career transitions. I think there's a question that came up when at the question section, and Kristen's going to speak to that a little bit more about career transitions for you later on in the half hour. And I can't see the next question here, the next point. What do I have here? Benefits of temporary work. Yes, so the benefits of temporary work are many. It exposes you to different companies, to different roles, and many times temporary roles will actually convert into a regular role. So it makes a big difference to be open to temporary roles, particularly at this time, because one of the things that we've been talking about in our staffing meetings is that it may be during this period of time that a lot of the work will be temporary work. So to be open to that is important. And also to expand your network, not just by registering with 3 to 5 agencies, but looking at different ways in the community to join different organizations. And due to all the webinars that are happening now, I think that it's actually can be very, very helpful in terms of logging into those webinars to expand your network. And that's my piece for this morning.
Okay, I'm going to hand it over now to Kristen McConnell from Northwest Staffing.
All right. Well, thank you, Lauren and Mulberry Talent. I'm excited for this opportunity to be on this talk with you guys and to be able to connect with so many of you that are out there listening and watching. As Lauren mentioned, it's an entirely different platform these last few, several weeks, and how we've reached our candidates. And I appreciate Mulberry being creative and, finding ways to continue to connect with people. I am the West Side area manager for Northwest Staffing. I've been with our company for 24 years. We are what's considered a full service staffing company. We specialize in clerical, professional office administration, legal positions, accounting positions, even some entry-level technical, manufacturing, and dental. So really pretty full service, a wide range of opportunities and levels of positions within all those different disciplines. So what I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about today was just some best practices for partnering with a recruiter and an agency. And Lauren is absolutely right. It is the best thing you can do for yourself to find, a few recruiters that you really feel like you are connecting with, and in different companies, because we all have different bases of clients and different connections with different organizations. And so expanding your network is really a valuable tool for you. Do your research before you make a call to a staffing company. Take a look at our websites, find out what types of placements we make. Are we more of a discipline, specialty service, niche staffing? Are we more full service? Find out what might be the best fit for you. If you are a paralegal and we only do commercial real estate sales placements, then obviously that's probably not the right company to reach out to. So really take some time to do some research and take a look at our websites. Like she said, ask for referrals. If you are really connecting well with a recruiter and they just don't have that right fit right now, be sure to ask and say, who else, who do you trust in your industry? I know that Lauren and we refer candidates back and forth to each other all the time that, we really would like to place, but maybe we just don't have the right opportunity. And if I get a strong technical candidate, Scott at Lexicon is who I think of. So making sure that you make those connections, ask for referrals. It's a great way to expand that network. Before you call, take a look at the positions that we have posted. Does something look like it might be of interest to you? Do you appear to be a match in skills? And then also look and do a little homework on any reviews and special awards. Those Google reviews can tell you quite a bit about a staffing company, and look for what that candidate experience is and what that level of candidate satisfaction looks like it is. Find us on LinkedIn, so that you can learn more about our experience, see what types of positions we are posting, what types of opportunities we're putting out there. Make that connection request. We love that. We love to expand our networks, and we love to hear from people that are interested in connecting with us. Another best practice is, really make sure that you're prepared when you call a staffing company. I think that people get nervous and they don't realize that they might actually get that recruiter that has the perfect job for them on the line when they call, and that connection might be really instant. So be really prepared with your information and have it at the ready. Make sure you introduce yourself. I can't tell you how many times people call and forget to give us their name, and they just, launch into, I saw you had this position posted, or I'm looking for work. And so make sure that you take the time to, introduce yourself just like you would if you were going to call a hiring manager at a company directly. Tell us if you've seen a particular position that you're interested in, or if maybe someone has referred you to us. That's a great way to make a connection, and like I say, you might get that recruiter on the line, and if timing allows, you guys might launch straight into a phone interview. So be prepared, have your resume at the ready, be ready to talk about job transitions and why you've moved around a little bit. And if there's one that's maybe a little bit tricky, we'll work through it with you, and we'll give you some good ideas on how to explain those in interviews. I mean, we are a great resource for being able to help you with those career transition, job transitions. If you can also have your calendar ready, that happens a lot too, where someone might call and we might not be ready to talk right at that moment or have the chance to talk right at that moment, but we will want to set up a time with you. So make sure that you're prepared, have your calendar ready, and let's get a time set up so that we can have a more in-depth conversation. Have your list of professional references ready. Our company, I think, most of our competitors, we do check references. That is important to us. Our clients, they hold us to that standard. They hold us to a higher standard a lot of times than they do on their own screening efforts. So they really do want that information, and they expect us to truly vet our candidates and learn about them. So have that list of professional references ready for us so that we can start that process. The sooner we can get those things going, then the better we can present you, the stronger we can present you to our customers. On your references, be sure to indicate that I worked with this person at this company, so that you give us that point of reference, so that when we look back at your resume, we can say, okay, so they work together doing this, and we can use those as really good talking points. We just get really good reference feedback that way than if we just get a list of names and phone numbers but don't have any idea how you know one another. So give us that information as to why you've selected that person to be a reference. Some industries really, they rely more on letters of recommendation. We do a lot of legal placements at Northwest Staffing and Legal Northwest, and they rely a lot on those letters of recommendation. So if you have those, include those with your references. And be prepared to talk about and articulate what your dream job is. What does that look like in terms of what types of industries you're interested in? What size of company do you think is the best fit for you? Location preferences, what seniority level are you looking for? What types of responsibilities are you looking for? Is the mission of the company important to you? If so, what is that? And then also what your target compensation goals are. The more information we know and can capture from you, the better we can do, at representing you and presenting you for opportunities. So when you approach your job search, you approach your full-time job search one way, but you might approach your contract and temporary job search a little bit different. And so we want you to think about, are you possibly interested in some shorter term opportunities at this time? Think about it as something that might be more fun. Maybe it's a lower stress level. It's an opportunity for you to add to your resume, like Lauren said, to make really good connections. So many times a client will call and say, we just really need this person for a 3-month contract, and those turn into full-time opportunities. And so really think about taking those contract opportunities and think about what's important to you on maybe a shorter term assignment than is different than what you're looking for in a longer term assignment. Think about what makes sense for you in terms of duration. Some people really prefer short term, 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time, while others, for various reasons are looking for something that's just, 90 plus days at a time. So think about what that looks like for you so that you can share that with us, so we know what type of opportunity we should be focusing on for you. Is there something different that you want to try? I mean, temporary or contract work can be a great opportunity to do that. Maybe you want to try out a different type of office, or, Maybe you want to see what it is like to work in a law firm or, you know, a real estate company, and you've always worked in manufacturing. So it's a good idea to think about some different things that you're interested in trying and be able to share that information, you know, with us. Ask about the benefits. You know, because I think a lot of times people are concerned that if they take a temporary or a contract assignment, they won't have any benefits. But, you know, most of us offer benefits. So don't let that be a deal breaker for you. You know, ask the questions, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised what the industry has to offer. You know, we were talking a lot, like Lauren said, about what it's going to look like over the next 6 to 12 months and what type of opportunities we are going to have. And honestly, I think it's going to be a lot of contract work that we are going to be seeing coming in. And, you know, I've never had a hiring manager discredit a candidate's work history because they took a contract opportunity that was maybe a little bit lower level than what they've done in the past, you know, because they made that decision to do that, you know, versus be on unemployment. And, you know, especially with what's coming down the pipe, I think come July, the market's going to be even more competitive as the CARES Act runs out, and there's going to be even more people that are out there looking for work. You know, we really strongly encourage people to, you know, consider taking contract and temporary opportunities. There's some great ones that are starting to come out, and we really recommend that people be open to those. It is truly a great way to make some really good connections and meet different people, and an opportunity to build your resume and build your skill set. SHRM just recently posted an article, and they talked a lot about how companies will hire as they reopen, and they really reiterated that that companies are going to be tapping into staffing companies because they will need to be able to secure talent really quickly. And you know, we can turn things around usually much quicker than a company can on their own hiring process, because we already have a really great pool of candidates at our fingertips. And so we do expect to see a big uptick in contract opportunities. So that's exciting, and you know, hopefully people will see some benefit from that. As far as how to stand out and stay on our radar, you know, any one of us might be juggling 100+ active candidates at any given time. So, you know, it is important to stay on our radar and be in front of us. If you see that we have positions posted, reach out to us if you are interested in those. Don't wait for us to contact you. If you think it's a good fit and truly a match for your skills, reach out and say, hey, I'm interested in this. Can you tell me more about it? That's a great way to stay on our radar. I know at Northwest Staffing, we use a texting feature quite a bit. It integrates right in with our ATS system so that all of our recruiters have exposure to that. It's a really great way for all of us to be able to help you in a moment's notice. There's not just one person that has the arsenal of information or communication. The number one thing that I think makes a candidate, to me at least, stand out is your response time and being responsive and replying back with the information we are requesting to get you through that process, and so that we are ready to present you to clients. When we get a call from a client, they typically needed to hire yesterday. So they're go, go, go. And so we tend to be go, go, go as well. And so you being responsive and quick with your replies and your follow-ups is super important to us and definitely makes you stand out. So Scott, I know you're going to talk a little bit about staying on our radar and how to have candidates best present themselves as well. So with that, I am going to go ahead and turn things over to you.
All right, well, I'll try not to be redundant. I'm Scott Thompson, Lexicon Solutions. We are a IT and engineering staffing firm. Been in the Portland market for 16 years. I've been personally recruiting in the Portland market for a little over 20. So that's kind of what we do. A couple of things that I wanted to touch on. It's a little bit of reiteration from what Lauren and Kristen were saying. But the first thing that that I'm going to touch on is just which sites are you using to target your job search? Because the ultimate goal is, you know, if you're going to be an active applicant, you want to make it easier for recruiters to find you. So I'll touch later with my slide deck about LinkedIn profile optimization, but really using sites such as LinkedIn to get your professional information out there. Indeed, Career Builder, and Monster are some of the sites that you can use for more like general searching for jobs. And there are very specific sites too that can help in your field. So in my field, when we do IT and engineering, DICE is a job board that a lot of technical recruiters use to find IT and engineering talent. I know like in Lauren's field, with HR folks, the Jennifer Johnson user group is a place where a lot of people are posting jobs as well as looking for jobs. And there's a lot of other local user groups that people can use for specific professions. So do your research, look for areas where you can target your job search to your specific field and area of expertise. Another thing I want to touch on is finding the right recruiter for you. And this echoes a lot of what Kristen said too, and also what Lauren said, but making sure that your recruiter kind of specializes in your industry and is going to have a strong network in your industry, because that's going to be the people that are going to truly be able to look out for you. I tend to lean towards steering people towards working with established recruiters who have shown that they're going to be there for a long term, and also established recruiters oftentimes will utilize their network and not just their company to provide you with more leads and opportunities. Perfect example is, again, I've been doing this for a while. I have a bunch of friends that are also in the industry, literally direct competitors of mine. If I don't have something for a candidate, but I think it's a really strong candidate, oftentimes I will make an introduction to my direct competitors, because it gives the candidate more opportunities to network with some really good folks that are in our industry that I know and trust. So yeah, if you work with recruiters, you want to work with a recruiter who's going to help you and utilize their network to assist you in your job search in any way they can. Real quick touch on this one is just proper follow-up and staying on a recruiter's radar. I always tell people to just ask the recruiter how often they want you to check in and how they prefer for people to check in. Because I know that some recruiters want to have somebody follow up with a phone call every other week or an email every week. I personally tell people to just drop me an email once a week or every other week and just say, let me know if their status has changed, because we all keep what we call a hot list of candidates who we know are actively looking. We keep it categorized by their skill set. And so if we find out that someone has gotten a job, if they check in with us and say, hey, I ended up getting a job, then we can take them off our hot list, and we're not going to call them about new opportunities if they're already settling into a new role. But on the flip side, checking in once a week will also keep you on people's hot list and let the recruiters know that you are actively looking still, and just kind of keep you at the top of their mind. So next thing for me is slide deck. I'm going to open up here in just a sec, but really how to optimize your LinkedIn profile to best represent your skill set. Now, if you have two monitors for this, I would fully encourage you to pull up both so you can have LinkedIn on one monitor and the slide deck on the other. That way you can kind of walk through it live. If you don't, I'm sure we'll send out the slide deck once we're wrapped up here. So let me share my screen really quick, and I'll go through this. Okay, so again, optimizing your LinkedIn profile. Oh, here we go. Why is this important? And just so everybody knows, I got a lot of this information from my LinkedIn rep. We went through and did a whole presentation together on trying to set candidates up for better use of using LinkedIn. And so going through this, why is it important? Viewing profiles is the #1 activity on LinkedIn. And really, your LinkedIn profile is your brand. It represents you and what you're trying to do professionally. Good profiles are definitely optimized best for search. So if your profile is not optimized, it's not going to be found as often. So you want to make sure that you really optimize that. And I'll get to that with a couple other slides here. And also, just in general, be engaging on LinkedIn and having a strong profile. It really kind of cements your credibility as a candidate, shares a little bit about your personality. So optimizing your profile for search purposes, we try and tell people you want to be easy to find. And there's a couple, it kind of depends on how easy you want to be to find. There's a section where you can actually put your contact info in LinkedIn. And if you are actively in a job search and you want recruiters to be able to find you based on what they see on your LinkedIn profile, put your email address or your phone number in there if you want people to reach you. If you're more of a passive searcher and you just want people to be able to see your LinkedIn profile, but not necessarily contact you directly, you can omit that information and they can contact you via LinkedIn InMails, which you can filter a little better. Using keywords to represent your skill set is the #1 way to optimize your profile to be found in searches. Because as a recruiter, when we use LinkedIn to find candidates, we're typing in LinkedIn, we have Boolean strings to help identify the best candidates that have the keywords that match up with our search in particular. So make sure that you use the keywords that represent what you're trying to be found for. I always tell people too that a lot of people have, like, say if you're a project manager and you use the acronym PM, or if you're a business systems analyst and you use BSA. Well, I tell people to write it out as well as have acronyms, because a lot of recruiters, if you're writing a Boolean search to find someone, you're going to use both of those, but you want to make sure that you're found. So writing out project manager as well as just having PM in your profile will help so that both searches can be found easily. And the last thing is really just making sure that your profile is 100% complete. The best way to be found and the best way to optimize your profile is making sure that it's really accurate to your skill set and is fully complete. So starting off, if you've got your LinkedIn profile up, the top card is what we call really that's your catch. It's the very top of your LinkedIn screen. And the number one thing our LinkedIn rep said is keep your photos professional if you're in an active job search. Profiles with photos are also 11 times more likely to be found in searches. And so the next piece up there is your headline. And that's what we call the catch, right? That's what somebody sees. When I do a search, my Boolean string will find all of the search string that I'm looking for within the body of your LinkedIn profile, but it shows me a list of candidates and I see their picture and their headline, what they say that they do. So that's the first thing that I see, and it allows you to really put your brand mantra out there, or even modify your title. If you have a title that's maybe not as wide of a net as you want to cast, you can make that the headline a little more broad. Also, again, I kind of touched on this contact info, including as much or as little as you want, just depending on how accessible you want to be. You can also do branded websites or customized URLs in the contact info section. So the summary is the next section down. Again, complete profiles, they have 10 times as many views, or 10 times more views, excuse me, than incomplete profiles. So in your summary, that's where they say that you allow your kind of personality to shine through, or you can talk a little bit more about what you're looking for. If you're in an active job search and you're looking for a specific job, talk about it in there. Talk about what you do and be aspirational. And the LinkedIn professionals say that you need a minimum of 40 words in that section to maximize your chances of being searched using keywords. In your next section is the work experience section. Complete work experience increases your discoverability by up to 4 times. A lot of times people will just say, here's my job title and here's a quick blurb on what I do. The more elaborate you can make that, the better. I liken it to looking at LinkedIn as your resume. So what would you want to say about your current job on your resume? I would put that, maybe not exactly the same, but pretty darn close on your LinkedIn profile and on your work experience section. And if you're a passive job seeker, this is your best chance to really, get your resume on LinkedIn without saying, I'm looking for work. You're just putting your information out there and recruiters will find you. They talk about highlighting accomplishments. So you don't necessarily have to get too caught up in the details and every little thing that you do. If you're trying to make your profile not terribly long, you can just stick to highlighting your accomplishments and really make sure that those things are out there for people to see. Using keywords that match your skill set and allowing your strengths and values to shine through. This also, we talk about career gaps for people. This also gives you a chance to kind of represent your career gaps. If there was something you were doing as volunteer work while you were in between jobs, you can list that on your LinkedIn profile, and it's not like putting it on your resume per se, it's just showing what you were doing on LinkedIn. Skills, endorsements, and recommendations is the next section. Profiles with strong skills endorsements are 4 times more likely to be viewed. There's a new thing that LinkedIn put up this year called Take a Skills Quiz. And it actually allows you to show strong skills in your area of expertise. So everybody's is different. I was talking to a candidate that I was working with last week, and he's a Power BI professional. And we walked through this together, and he clicked on Take Your Skills Quiz, and it took him to these LinkedIn skills quizzes where his was very focused on Power BI. And it allows him to get almost like a LinkedIn certification to show that you are skilled in your area of expertise. I haven't taken my skill quiz yet, but when I do, it'll show probably a focus on recruiting. So LinkedIn matches up your skill quiz based on your areas of expertise. So taking that will allow you to show a little bit more depth of knowledge in your area. Another thing too is when we talk about endorsements, LinkedIn defaults to showing your top 3 skills in your endorsement section. And if you all remember, it used to be where someone could just go to your LinkedIn profile and they would see, I'd get pinged all the time as a recruiter and say, endorse Lauren or Kristen for being a manager. And so just to be nice, I would click it. Well, that may not be what Kristen wants to be known for or Lauren wants to be known for. And so it used to be that it would default to whichever one you had the most endorsements on, would just put those as your top 3 endorsements. And you may not want those to be your top 3 endorsements. One of mine was project management. While I do that as part of my job, I'm not a project manager, I'm a recruiter. And so you can rearrange, you actually have the ability to edit the level that those have and put the top 3 so that those are the 3 that are seen when somebody's looking at your profile. While they can expand on it and dig to see what else you have in there, the top 3 are the ones that show first. So I would make sure that your endorsements are the 3 that you want shared most out there. And then again, skills, our keywords, our discoverability. So making sure that you have all of those things listed in your skills. Talking about recommendations, they recommended that a solid profile has at least 2 recommendations. I think personally, the more the merrier, right? If you have 7 to 10 people that are willing to share good information about working with you and your background, that's a good thing. So give recommendations and you'll get them back. Profile extras. I'm going to tear through these because we got 2 more slides and I know we're running short on time. But activity is kind of the #1 thing that they talk about to get out there. Post things that are relevant to your industry and show thoughtfulness with that. You can add rich media to bolster the content on your page. One little catch on LinkedIn, if you have 2 degrees, make sure that the education that's most relevant is listed first because that's the one that'll show up on your top card. I had a friend that had a master's and a bachelor's, and because of the order that he entered them, it showed his bachelor's degree on his top card, and he was like, wow, I have a master's. That's not even being shown when somebody's looking at my profile top. Accomplishments, so you can list your honors and awards received. And then there's a new button called Add in the profile section where you can actually add things into your profile, like I'm looking for job opportunities or some of your additional volunteer experience or licenses and certifications. So make sure that this is LinkedIn's way of actually allowing people to customize their page a little bit more, and it's a newer thing. So look for the Add profile section and customize it to what you want it to be in your site. And really the last thing is just being engaged on LinkedIn. Strengthen your reach by increasing your network. As a recruiter, LinkedIn is a better tool for me the more people that I'm connected to. Joining groups that are applicable for yourself. So there's a lot of recruiting groups. There's a lot of technical groups for the folks that I work with. Like accountants have groups. Join groups that are relevant to what you're looking for, because not only will you see jobs posted there, but you can also post interesting things there and get connected with people in your community. Sharing status updates and publishing on LinkedIn. Our LinkedIn rep said somebody can commit to at least 15 minutes per day of LinkedIn. That is where they'll really start to optimize their profile. And really the last thing is just being thoughtful and sharing your expertise. So that's it for me on LinkedIn engagement. I'll pop off this screen here. And I think we're moving on to questions next.
So I think that we have run out of time, but what we can do is take the questions that we were going to answer and put those answers in our email out to all of our attendees today. We'll share our slides, we'll share Scott's slides, all of our contact information. And then we do have a few upcoming workshops, so we'll include that information in there as well. So thank you all for attending today. Hope that you found it to be very informational, and we look forward to seeing you at our next workshop.
Thanks, everybody.